Necesitas un lápiz y el papel o un cuaderno. You will need a pencil, paper, or your exercise book. Hola clase tres, another great week of learning last week. Well done to those of you who completed your months of the year task. Today we're going to continue to learn the months of the year so that we know that vocabulary is really embedded, or en español, los meses del año. Muy bien. So, we're going to start off with a recap of the months of the year. Obviously, you can take this at your own pace, so when I've finished going through them, you can rewind it and keep on practicing. You can pause on this page and you can practice your pronunciation as well. As I say, you just take it at your own speed. So, firstly, January, enero, enero, enero. Muy bien, remember to roll those R's. February, febrero, febrero, febrero. Muy bien. March, marzo, marzo, marzo. April, abril, abril, abril. And May, mayo, mayo, mayo. June, remember these are the two tricky ones. Junio, junio, junio. July, julio, julio, julio. Muy bien. August, agosto, agosto, agosto. Muy bien. September, septiembre, septiembre, septiembre. October, octubre, octubre, octubre. November, noviembre, noviembre, noviembre. Muy bien. Y finalmente and finally, December, diciembre, diciembre, diciembre. Muy bien. Okay, so now that we've recapped the months of the year, we're going to recap those again with the months of the year song that we learned last week, or Los Meses del Año. Now, I didn't see many of these, or many of your singing uploaded onto Seesaw, so I'd love to see this week for you to do that as well. Equally, now that this is the second week that we're learning this song, if you want to add something to it, if you want to use the vocabulary that you did for your task last week, that's absolutely fine, and I'd love to be able to see you doing that during the song as well. If you need to, or if you want to play the song a couple of times, and as I said last week, if it takes a little bit of time to start when I go off the screen, then that's absolutely fine. Just fast forward it on a little bit as well.
Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre y diciembre. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre y diciembre.
Bueno, okay, so in front of me now I've got some flashcards which say the months of the year on them in Spanish. What I want you to do is I'm going to show you them relatively quickly, and I want you to shout out the English translation. So for example, if I hold up this month, you're going to shout out September. Okay, ¿estamos listos? Are we ready? Let's see how quickly we can do them. If you do need a little bit more time, just pause the video between each one. August, July, June, two tricky ones together there, December, November, October, May, April, February, March, September, January. Okay, this time a little bit similar, but you're going to be saying the word in Spanish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up a picture card and you need to shout out the word. The picture cards are the same ones that you saw when I showed you them all on the screen together, so if you're not familiar with them, if you need to go back at this point, then please do so. So when I hold up the card, you're going to shout out the month of the year. So for this one, you would shout out Septiembre. Muy bien. ¿Estamos listos? Are we ready? Okay. Septiembre. Julio. Diciembre. Noviembre. Octubre. Es difícil. No es diciembre. Enero. Junio. Mayo. Abril. Es difícil. Enero, febrero. Es marzo. Febrero. Y finalmente junio, julio, agosto. Muy bien. Like I said, that was incredibly difficult, so well done if you got them all correct. If you need to go back over that bit, then that's absolutely fine to do. Okay, for this part of the lesson, you will need the work that you did last week on the vocabulary of the months of the year. Now, what I would like you to do, we're going to do a speed challenge with it. I'm going to say a month of the year in Spanish. You need to point to it on your work as quickly as you possibly can. If you don't have that work from last week, what I would suggest to do is to complete that work now, so you've got it in front of you for that. All that you need to do for it is recreate, or you need to list the vocabulary for the months of the year, and all that you will need to do for this activity is point to it when you hear it. Okay, are you ready? Marzo. Muy bien, March. Junio. Excelente is June. Agosto is August. Enero. January. Diciembre es December. Marzo. March. Y finalmente difícil. Septiembre. Sí, it's September. Okay, so now that we're really familiar with the months of the year, we're going to progress now into writing our own sentences that show what we do in each month of the year. So these are quite similar to what we did for the days of the week a few weeks ago. What I would like you to do for every single month of the year is write me a sentence in Spanish that tells me what you do in that month. Now you might need to do a little bit of research to show some of the things that you do. You might remember some of the things that we talked about last week as one of the tasks there. You might, if you've got access to a Spanish dictionary, be able to use that, or equally, there are lots of resources on the internet to be able to translate some of the words that you might need. I've listed in the bottom corner of the screen some of the key vocabulary that you'll need, all of the months of the year, so those can be spelled accurately and used accurately. And the sentence you'll need is en voy a. So it basically means in, and then the month of the year, I go to the, and then you will write where you go to, okay? In a moment, I'm going to model a couple of those sentences for you so that can give you the inspiration that you need for your own work. Okay, so this is how you're going to construct your sentences. As I said, the template is there on the screen for you. My first sentence I'm going to write is, in English, in August, I go to the beach. Now, hopefully, from the past couple of weeks, you'll remember the word for beach, which is playa. So, have a think what you think the sentence might be in Spanish, and in a moment, I'll write it for you. Okay, here it is. In agosto. Now, one thing that you need to remember when you're writing the months of the year in Spanish, which is different from English, is the fact that you don't need a capital letter for the months of the year. So, en agosto. En agosto, in August, voy, I go, a la, to the playa, which is beach. En agosto voy a la playa. In August, I go to the beach. Okay, next one. In January, I go to the library. Now, see if you can remember the word for library. I've used it a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. And see if you can think of what the sentence might be. Okay. In January, I go to the library. En enero, voy a la biblioteca. En enero, remember no capital letter. Voy a la, to the biblioteca. I apologise for my handwriting there. En enero voy a la biblioteca. In January, I go to the library. Okay, muy bien. So next week we're going to continue looking at months of the year. We're going to use our sentences and we're going to aim to be able to put that into a paragraph of writing, including adding adjectives to describe what it is like. Hopefully you found today useful. Take care, everybody. Adios.